Hey everybody, this is Justin from RC Heli Nation version 2.0. I'm here at the 2015 Ircha Jamboree, and where we're at right now is at the Speed Cup site. You know, speed has been taken off as a little niche in our hobby lately, and this year in particular, we're seeing a lot of new people get into it, a lot of renewed interest in speed flying, and that goes not just for the pilots, but also for the companies. And so what I have here today, as you guys know, I'm doing a review. Gaui was kind enough to get RCHN set up to do a review of the brand new R5 speed helicopter. And we're going to talk a little bit about the R5 that I've got sitting here. All right, so this is the R5 speed helicopter. As you guys know, it's not a 700 class model. It's actually a 500 class. We're running 580 millimeter blades here by Halo, and 80 millimeter Halo blades on the tail. This is a fully fuselaged model, so this is designed to be similar to what we refer to as the unlimited class in the 700 size helicopters. These are the big boys, except this goes in what we're calling the mini unlimited class B in Ircha Speed Cup. New class, made specifically for the R5 and some of the other models out there that are of the same size. So the Gaui R5 is actually a really beefy model. What you can see here is it has a head that's similar to the X5 with a shorter hub to reduce drag. That entire head, as well as the swash, is covered up by the aerodynamic canopy to minimize the drag caused by those mechanics. The swash plate itself has been completely redesigned, unlike anything else that Gaui's brought out. And what that basically does is give us a much beefier set of mechanics to handle the high loads that these models will undergo at high-speed flight. All right, guys, so next we're actually going to take the canopy off and take a look at some of the details of the model. Now, the canopy is actually a pretty impressive design. It has a series of clips and magnets that hold it on, and I'll show you that in a second. There are magnets on the inside here that keep the back end of the canopy tightened down. And then there's a rim on the inside with magnets at the top and the bottom, and a little set of slots for the back posts, and then another set of slots for the front posts. And if you look right here, here's the front post, here's the back post, and then you can see the lip sort of in the rear portion of the fuselage that the canopy slots over. You've also got the carbon fiber curved piece here, which sort of outlines the battery cavity. And then inside, the small micro servo, which is used to actuate the landing gear retracts. So on my model, I actually put a pretty beefy power system, as 700 power systems go. By no means is it necessary to put what I've got in here, but I have a Cosmic 200, I have an X-Nova XTS series 4530 525 kV motor. It is running a 22 tooth pinion here through the 21 millimeter belt to the intermediate aluminum gear. This is a 46 tooth aluminum gear. That aluminum gear then drives this 21 tooth main gear drive pinion, which in turn drives the 75 tooth main gear, as well as the tail belt drive here, which runs to the back. You can see the stack servo arrangements here. I'm running MKS HBL 665s on the cyclic and a 669 in the tail, which is buried down below. You won't be able to see that without taking the fuselage off. Again, swash plate we talked about, it's a very beefy design. The balls are captured here, and this is a solid piece of aluminum that has an outer bearing wrapped around it. Very smooth, nice, precise setup, no slop whatsoever. On the Flybarless system, I'm running the Bavarian Demon 3X. I run that in all of my speed helis, and it works just the same here. Really great system. And on the front side here, what you can see with the blue wires, this is a J-Log, which is a logging system that allows me to take the cosmic telemetry for milliamp hours of pack capacity, currents, voltages, RPM, and run that to my Jetty radio for real-time in-flight telemetry. And then in addition, I have a Powerbox Systems GPS-2 Doppler GPS unit that's hidden down here on the boom so that I can get real-time telemetry measurements of the actual flight speed and take a look at that data after the runs and determine what my peak and my averages were, how flat things were. One of the nice features about this model also, which you can't see from here, but on the right-hand side of the frame, there's a very strong belt tensioning system that actually has a spring steel clip that you're able to press down on to untension the belt when you're adjusting things, and then when you let go, the spring clip pops it back in place and tensions the belt exactly the way you need it to. As for the battery tray, I chose to run OptiPower 2700 milliamp hour 50C packs, but again, as long as the packs fit within the 46 by 48 by 340 millimeter dimension set, then you'll be pretty good. It comes with a 2-piece battery tray here, and you can see there's a clip edge on the front of the battery tray and a set of aluminum rails that run the length of the frame. And when you slide that in, we'll listen for the click. That's locked in, secure with no play. And then when you want to take it out, you pull the aluminum clip here out, and the battery slides right out. On the Contronic speed controller, I'm running the RC Pro Plus Super X 6mm connectors, which is a really nice, solid, positive locking connector, capable of handling way more current than this model is likely to draw, even with the biggest power systems. As we mentioned before, there's a stacked servo system that keeps the frames narrow. And what's also nice about it is that Gaui has put a lot of features in the airframe that allow you to run zip ties so that you can run your wires cleanly from the front of the model back to where your Flybarless system and receiver are. So we're talking about the frame width here, and actually this frame is impressively narrow. The airframe itself comes in at about 30 millimeters in width for the actual carbon fiber frame. That allows Gaui to cram all of this into a fuselage that maxes out at 90 millimeters in width. The motor is actually backed up by a pinion support bearing on the underside, so that you have extra support for the drive system. And because of that, and because of how close the batteries are to that counter support bearing, you cannot go longer than 41 millimeters in motor shaft length. And the pinions that come with it are capable of accepting 6 millimeter motor shafts only, with a motor mount that has 25 and 30 millimeter motor bolt spacing. Another nice feature of the build itself is that, for those of you who aren't familiar with the Gaui build setup, they provide labeled bags for all the different parts, and instead of throwing the fasteners into the bags with all the different parts, that leaves you to have to go and sift through it all, they actually put the fasteners in labeled bags that tell you an M3 by 8 millimeter screw or the nuts that you need. So all you have to do is look at the manual, and it tells you I need 2 M3 by 8s. I go to my M3 by 8 bag and grab out 2, and I'm ready to go. Onto the flight experience. Now, I've only been able to get a few flights on this so far. What I will tell you is it flies fantastic with stock settings. It tunes very easily, and it's actually very visible in the air. That's something that was quite surprising to me. You know, you think about how far these speed models have to go out and away from the actual pilot in order to track the correct course length. And even the big 700s on a 200 meter course get really tiny. This guy, while it is a 500, for the 120 meter course that we're going to be running here at the 2015 Ircha Speed Cup, it actually has really great visibility, not just because of the size of the fuselage, but the color scheme as well. So you guys are probably wondering about what its speed potential is. I don't think I've really brought it up to its full potential, but what I have been seeing with the beefy 700 power system that I've put in it and the couple of runs that I've been able to put in is speeds in the range of 2 to 220 kilometers an hour, which is in the 120s to 130s in miles per hour. And that's at the stock gear ratio, turning about 2,600 RPM and 15 degrees of pitch, roughly. And so I think the model's been designed to be far more capable than what we've got there on head speed and pitch. When people really start putting the pitch and head speed up higher, I think we're going to see even better speeds. So I'm excited to see what it's going to come up with on the 2015 Ircha Speed Cup. All right, guys, well, hopefully you've got a better feel for the new Gaui R5 speed helicopter. I'm really excited about getting on with the review and putting some really serious flight time on this model, see what it's really capable of in terms of speeds, and whether it can be a competitor in the upcoming speed events this year. I think we're going to see a number of them fly at the 2015 Ircha Speed Cup as well. So stay tuned for information on that, and I will have a review out on our podcast probably in the next month or so. Thanks.